Hey everyone, really quick, right before we get into today's episode, David vs. Goliath has a new store on its website where you can get hats, mugs, t-shirts, hoodies. Pretty cool. Check it out. DavidVsGoliathPodcast.com. Thanks for watching. Coming up today on David vs. Goliath. We bailed ourselves up. We get up every day, we went back to work, and we did it again.
If you do the activities, you watch the videos, you participate, we should take you to $5 million in revenue.
Wow.
The government can't do that.
It's too big.
Welcome to today's episode of David vs. Goliath, a podcast dedicated to helping small businesses leverage technology to not only help them compete against their large competitors, but win. Your host is currently the CEO of Anthem Software, a three-time Inc. 500 recipient and a serial entrepreneur with a passion to help small businesses everywhere find, serve, and keep more customers profitably. Please join me in welcoming your host, Adam DeGraide.
Hey everyone, it's Adam DeGraide. It's going to be a terrific edition of the David vs. Goliath podcast. We have Eric Coffie from GOVCON Giants. This gentleman has a passion to help small businesses break in to the funds available to them with government contracts. When I received this application through the David vs. Goliath podcast.com website, I was totally blown away, and I said, I've got to have Eric on. Plus, he's got his own podcast. It's going to be a fantastic episode. Today's episode is brought to you by Anthem Software, where you can find, serve, and keep more customers profitably with their all-in-one solution built specifically for small businesses of software, marketing, and consulting. Take the 120-second tour today at anthemsoftware.com. My book is still out. You can check it out. It's The Adventures of Jackson, the Young Field Mouse, on Amazon and Barnes & Noble. Make sure you check that out. And as you know, we have a brand new store. I mentioned that in the intro of this episode as well. It's very, very exciting to have that. So go get yourself some swag, some DVG swag, and share the love with your friends and family and other people that you know who love and want to support small business everywhere. You can visit us online at davidvsgoliathpodcast.com. There you can apply to be on the podcast like Eric did, and he's going to be on the podcast today. You can also subscribe to receive our email newsletters, and you can also ask DVG a question all on the website. Well, with that all out of the way, I can't wait to get into this. This is an industry I'm learning a lot about myself right now. So Eric, welcome to the David vs. Goliath podcast.
Thank you for having me. First of all, David versus Goliath. How could I say no to that?
It's so funny you say that. You and I have very similar passions, right? It's to help small business take on the giant and win. Yep. And in your case, it's to help small businesses take a bite out of the giant and get some of that government money that's there. I thought that's it was. Right. I've learned. I've gone on a crash course the last 2 weeks because my company that I'm running right now, Anthem Software, went to the A8, and we kind of did it totally blindly, like not knowing who would be there, how we could help, and I've learned so much just in the last couple of weeks on how the tiered structure is and what's available for HubZone and A8 and being a prime versus a subcontractor. And my listeners and watchers right now are saying, what the heck is Adam even talking about? And so with that being said, I'm going to turn it over to Eric. Eric, tell the viewers and the watchers a little bit about GovCon and about yourself, because I know you got a podcast as well. You got passion burning in you. I can sense it. So go for it.
No, man. Thank you for having me. I'm the host of the GOVCON Giants podcast. So when you speak about David versus Goliath, we are GOVCON Giants, and our students that we teach, we train, we coach, we inspire, we motivate. We call them people that we're making them into giants. So we actually have another podcast. It's called Making a Giant, where we're actually turning single person businesses, 5-person businesses into mid-sized companies, right? 500 people, 200 people businesses. And so we call that making of a giant. And on my show, we interview current giants who were once formerly small businesses. Adam, the funny thing is, in this world that we operate in, we use the definition small business very loosely, because anyone outside of this world would think someone doing $40 million a year is not a small business, right? They'd be like, you guys are crazy. Like there's nothing small about a 500 person, $1 billion company. So when your listeners are hearing me and we interchange the word small businesses, just be mindful. It doesn't mean small in terms of like your mom and pop bicycle shop. It's small by the government's definition.
That's right. It's actually it's 2 to 500 employees, basically, or 1 to 500 employees. And at the end of the day, they come in all shapes and sizes. I've run small businesses that have been worth $133 million. I've built small businesses that were worth $60 million. And there's businesses out there that are worth $200,000, but they're still, they're all valuable. And I think both of our missions, your mission and our mission over here, is to help them discover how they can grow and become giants. It's funny that you talk about giants too. So I'm starting a sub podcast. This is a little teaser for my viewers and my listeners as well too. I'm doing a podcast called How Giants Fall. So I'm going to be covering businesses that were giant that are no longer here, and what we can learn from what they did right and what happened to their demise at the end. So it's going to be more of a docu-series type of thing that I'm going to do once every 2 or 3 months. And I'm working on my first one right now. It should be out in about 4 weeks. Actually, not 4 weeks. It'll be about 8 weeks at this point with our schedule. But it's exciting, man. So I love the concept of what you're doing too.
I want to say something to that point, what you're talking about. Before you jump over, right? So interesting enough, when you say that about the falling giants, a lot of people probably read Good to Great, which talks about good companies to great companies. What I looked at was, if you go back and there's this Washington Awards top 100 contractors list for DoD government contractors. They put it out every year. It's a top 100 guys making money for the government. So if you look at the S&P 500's list, right, from 20 years ago, most of the companies are gone. They don't exist, right? So the only brands that are still around on the S&P's 100 list were probably, I think Microsoft was there back then. Intel might have been there, but the rest of them are new faces. Okay. But Adam, if you look at the government's top 100 DoD list, they're all the same people. The list never changes. They move around in order.
Yeah. One goes down to 5, 5 bumps up to 3.
Right, 5 goes up to 4, 4 goes to 3. So so it's what's fascinating to me is how, and I don't have the percentages because it just was like one of those things that I did, but I can show you because I have that Excel spreadsheet that I looked at and I go, okay, these have been the same people on this list: Lockheed Martin, right? Boeing. Anderson Consulting, all these guys have been the same people getting government contracts. And so for me, I saw that as an incredible opportunity for a newcomer to come into this marketplace that, adds real value and can, really make a headwind, because no one's competing against these companies. No one.
Yeah. And what I've also discovered too, Eric, and so just for the listeners and the watchers, your company specializes in helping smaller companies get a piece of these contracts from what are called prime contractors, is probably what I'm assuming. So a prime contractor is what he said. They're the companies that go in, they get the big dollar commitment from the federal government or different entities within the federal government. And then they're required by the regulations to spend a certain percentage of that budget on small businesses, hub zones, A8 companies, different designations to share the love. And so you probably are part of not only helping them get that business, or are you primarily them going from a sub to a prime?
Sub to prime. So we help them get that business, but really the end game is to become primes. And the reason why is from all of I've been doing this since 2007. From all of my years of doing this and all of my experience, and actually now being on YouTube for 4 years, having my podcast for 3 years. So I've spoke to thousands of small businesses, thousands. And I've also spoke to hundreds of government agencies, right? Sub-agencies as well. And what I've found is that our government, because they don't have the ability to go out and just buy like the best product or service based on like, okay, Adam, most of your listeners and users, when they go shopping for something, they're looking at the ratings, they're looking at the reviews, right? When you go to restaurants, right? That's how you decide on, hey, if I'm in a new town,
what your friends are
I've
saying.
never eaten this, right?
What your friends are saying, stuff like that. Yeah.
Exactly. The government can't do that.
Yeah, no, it's too big.
So the government does not have the ability to say, you are the best product, the best service provider, we want you. They don't have that luxury.
Hence the fact that the top 100 are still the top 100 because...
Well, that's the fact. The top 100 stay the top 100. Correct. Right. Because they know how to play the game. And so what happens is, because the government does not have that luxury to just go out and buy the best company, the best entity that's out there, they only get to buy from the people who are in the pool that have solicited to them. That's the pool at which they can buy from. That creates a very limited pool of qualified companies that are able to service our United States government. And so we're not going to get into the politics of it all, but if you can imagine that, for me, when I learned that, I said, well, there's a lot of excellent companies out here that could be helping, right, with furthering our mission, whatever that mission is, right, for an agency or sub-agency. And so there's a lot of really good companies that, because they're not in that pool, they're not being considered for opportunities. And it's just really, I think it's unfortunate. And so what I try to do is to showcase through myself as an example, first and foremost. Okay, I'm the test dummy, so no one has to worry about making. I spend my money, I lose my money, right, first before I tell anybody to do anything. And so I go through and say, look, hey, I show you what it looks like on the other side. What does it take to qualify? You know, and I debunk a lot of the myths, because there's a lot of myths floating around. Because when people say government, it's just. Government can mean a lot of things. Adam, where do you live? Where do you live?
I live in Florida, in a little place right outside of Orlando.
Okay, so you live in Florida outside of Orlando. Okay, great. So you probably have a local municipality.
I don't want people to know my exact address, Eric, as you can imagine. You know, they'd be.
I don't want people. No, don't tell them my exact address.
They'd be coming up on the boat.
I don't even
get me on the shore.
I agree with you. Trust me. I know the feeling. So again, you live near Orlando, but Orlando is Orange County.
That's right.
Orange County is a municipality, so they have their own government. Orlando is in the state of Florida, which has its own government body. So when you say the word government, and then like if you live in Kissimmee, that's another municipality, right? Like, so all this still is government, but when people just throw out the word government, they think it's all the same, and it's not. It's totally different.
And you know, what's fascinating to me, man, because this is my fourth software company that I started building with Anthem Software. And never before had I ever looked at this vertical as even being something that would be viable to me. So there's thousands of small businesses that are listening to you and I, are stumbling across this conversation, and they're saying, gee, does that mean that my small business might have the ability to get either a sub piece or a prime piece of a contract with a bigger 100%. Dollar amount if it's presented properly? The answer is yes. And so It was, I mean, I can't believe how much I've learned. You know, I'm not surprised, I guess. I'm really not surprised that there's so many different layers and so many things that are set up that aren't really, that's not necessarily not adhered to, but no oversight on it in a lot of cases. Sure. But there's a ton of opportunity when there's a ton of money, and there's a ton of money in government contracts. Now, how did you, were you in the industry beforehand, before you started GovCon Giants, or did you just discover it and say, I'm going to figure this out and help people?
No. So I was in the industry. I originally in 2007, when the economy tanked and everything crashed and went to hell. Remember, there was no bailouts. The real estate market crashed. There was the mortgage crisis.
I lost quite a bit in real estate, my friend. Quite a bit back then.
There you go.
I think it was like 4 or 5 million, something like that.
There you go. Right. So we all got beat up pretty bad. And by the way, Adam, did you get bailed out?
No, I didn't.
Right?
Hold on, Eric. You want to know who bailed me out? This cat. Sure. This cat right there. We bailed ourselves out. We got up every day. We went back to work, and we did it again.
Thank you, sir. That's what we did. And I try to explain it to people. I go, there were no bailouts back then. You ate crow. I mean, that's it. Like, there's no bailouts. I thought this is capitalism, right?
Chris, you went to Longhorn Steakhouse for a while. It was perfect.
Perfect, no problem. Applebee's was my favorite place, man. Applebee's.
I went to Chili's the other day. I still love it. I can't help it.
No. Let me tell you, yeah, I was an Applebee's king, brother. I was an Applebee's king back then, okay? It really was, like they said, your neighborhood bar. So, I mean, all of us, we could sulk in our spoils of the losses that we've had and all the opportunities we could have done with all the money that went down the toilet. But nevertheless, I started back in that market during that time when everything went to hell. And I was introduced to a gentleman who had heard about the 8A program, but didn't know how to use it. And so his brother was recently awarded 8A, and they didn't know what to do with this stuff because there was no one teaching you how to maximize it, how to use it, And so I just dove in because I had more time than money, basically. And so I just said, let me. Hey, what else I had to do, right?
Man, this is what I love about this show, Eric, because I talk to so many different types of folks that have, I call it like hesitancy is the death of an entrepreneur, but action is the life of an entrepreneur. So when you saw this opportunity, you grabbed it and you just started to dive into it, sink your teeth into it. Yeah. And I encourage my watchers and my listeners to check out the website. I was actually pretty impressed with what you've done. I watched several videos on your channel as well prior to the interview. And I'll tell you, man, what I love about your spirit is that it's a can-do, let's make it happen. Even though there's roadblocks and stumbling blocks, we're going to get around them together. And you can have your piece of the cake and you can eat it too. And I thought that was amazing. So we're going to take a quick break here coming up right now. And then when we come back from the break, I want to dive in a little bit to your team, some of your courses that you set up for your students as well too. So everyone stay tuned. This is an important message from Anthem Software, our corporate sponsor. We'll be right back.
Anthem Business Software System is designed to specifically help small businesses just like yours find, serve, and keep more customers profitably. We do this by providing you with the most powerful software, automations, and marketing services to help your business compete and win in this ever-changing digital world. Take a short video tour at anthemsoftware.com.
Anthem Software, every business has a song. Let our software sing yours.
And we're back with Eric Coffie from GOVCON Giants, who is making giants out of small businesses, taking them from 50 employees to 500 employees, sharing with them how they can get the piece of the government pie, so to speak.
Yeah.
And and it's great to have you on here. Now you got a team. I was checking out your team.
Yeah, no, we've been building a really solid team. I'm thankful. One of the things that happened to us last year was when COVID hit, and actually was 2 years ago now because COVID was in 2020, right? Yeah, I think first 2020. So it's been 2 years. Wow, it's been a long 2 years for all of us, I'm sure, right? These last 2 years.
I'm not even sure what you're talking about at this point anymore.
I know, right? So,
I am so moved on at this point in my life, but I know it's crazy. It's been 2 years, man.
2 years, brother.
14 days to slow to the spread to 2 years.
Yeah. It's been insane. But during that time, a few of my students and I got together and we saw the opportunity right away because, again, I interview other people in government on my podcast. I bring on government experts. I bring on people that were former contracting officers, people that support industry, third-party service providers, all kind of folks that are supporting the space. Well, when COVID hit, we kind of saw what was about to happen really quickly. And so I assembled a team of my top students together and I said, hey, let's go chase after some of this work. And we were able to pull out $18 million in contracts within a very short period of time. I think it was about 2 weeks it took us. Because we were ahead of the curve and we saw what was happening with COVID. And interesting enough, Adam, we did not have the capital to be able to execute and deliver. But it was a great learning experience. And doing that exercise, I realized, I said, okay, these this is a hungry group, right? So I want to keep these guys around. And so that's my team today that supports all of our students and all our courses, our programs, our coaching, all of that stuff. Those are the same team that I had that pulled off the $18 million in contracts within a few weeks. So everyone at that point I knew had a taste of what it was like to kind of hit it big. They had that spirit, and they showed me that we could do it, and we were able to do that in a very short period of time. So that's the team that I still have till this day. That now we actually, between our courses and our programs, everything that I've done, Adam, because I did set out the channel to really help people. All of the monetization stuff came afterwards at the request of students, at the request of other people. They just asked for it, man. Like I didn't say I'm going to, start coaching. Someone says, Eric, you don't offer coaching? I go, no. What does that look like? And they said, well, this is what I want from it. I go, okay, well, we can do that. Right. And then someone asked me for the course.
How many courses do you have now?
So we have 20 courses. It's actually about 25, but 20 of them that are separate. The other 5 we don't sell separately. But what we do is what I found personally, I see a lot of people selling courses one-off. I just feel like it's not complete, right? When you sell a 5-hour thing, and government, I don't think it's complete. So we have what we call a bundle that puts it all together into what we call, it's now our 3.0 version, which is all of our 20 plus courses put together into one comprehensive package. It's called 3.0. So it's an annual subscription, but we support that. So it's not just on-demand learning. We actually support all of our students with weekly calls every Tuesday. So you could come in, and again, I was in real estate and people in mortgages. And when you're in a group setting, right, it makes you like pumped up. It keeps you encouraged. It keeps, you have a support system outside of just learning by looking at videos and sound. So we meet every Tuesday.
Now, when you meet, is it like a large Zoom call? Is it like a big?
Yeah, it's a large Zoom call. Yep, it's a large Zoom call. Sometimes, mostly about 40, 50 people. Sometimes as much as 70 or 80, depending on. Whenever we have a happy hour, that's when we hit our peaks, Adam. So for some reason, happy hour attracts a lot of people.
People like the adult beverages and education.
They love it.
It was always my favorite times at conventions too. Have a few drinks.
That's what they like.
Yeah,
right?
People's wallets get a little bit lighter. I mean, they're more willing to open them up. Their minds, in some cases, just a little bit opens up a little bit more.
I think also there are people that are more introverted that would not speak otherwise, right? And they won't come out. But we and then on the last Tuesday, because they're every Tuesday of the month, we bring in guest speakers as well to support our students. So we bring in guest experts from government, from contracts, from different topics every month.
Well, you're going to have to bring in a marketing expert.
Yeah, I think we have one on the schedule. I don't know.
Hey, just so you know, I am one. So you.
All right. Well, listen. Talk to Maria.
Yeah, talk to Maria.
Look at Talk to Maria.
It's interesting because, like I said, we went to that A8 convention, trying to support them, and really realize that there are things that they need to do from a marketing perspective, automation perspective, technologically perspective.
Sure.
And they weren't even aware of it, didn't know other people that could help them. So it was really cool to get involved in that. Now, with your students that you currently have, so so it's an annual subscription or is it a monthly subscription?
Yep. Annual subscription.
Okay, that's great.
I mean, you could buy a lifetime version, but most people buy the annual subscription.
And then they get the fresh content that you put out all the time. Now, is there a different element of your business that not only provides the education, but will actually jump in with the business?
Yes, we do that. Yeah. So we can, because what happens is we have students that have excelled, right? And they want hey, we're beyond, we already learned this stuff. We know it, we've got it. So we have people, or if someone wants, say, hand holding, we'll coach you and hand hold you through the process. Okay. But then if you want to partner up, we will partner up with companies, right? So we're doing that now.
It seems to me like that would be the natural outflow, right? You got somebody who's
it is a natural. Yes, correct.
That's great because you can help them go from a sub to a prime.
Yeah, and then we have. So I just launched a program in December. It's called POW, and it's my Inner Circle program for students who are. So, for example, I'll just tell you the way my tiers I view them. So my course, for me, the way it's at now, if you do the activities, you watch the videos, you participate, we should take you to $5 million in revenue.
Wow.
We already had over a dozen students hit 5 million in sales annually, not 5 million like one growth, 5 million annually.
Now, I did have a question in regards to that. Like, so when you land a government piece of business, I would imagine they have to be slow payers.
No.
They're not.
Absolutely. So that's I'm so happy you asked that question. Let's go back to, remember I described, you live in Orlando, you have Orange County, the state of Florida, then you got the federal government. I specifically teach federal government contracting. I don't teach local, I don't teach state.
Okay.
We do bring in speakers occasionally that will teach you state and local contracts. The reason why I stick to federal government is because one is, when you and I were in trouble back in 07, 08, the federal government is the only point that had the power to bail out anyone, and they chose not to.
Yeah.
They elected not to. So guess what happened, Adam? If you had a state or local contract, you didn't get paid. And so I didn't say this in the beginning because I didn't, for lack of time, but one of my closest friends went bankrupt because the city decided they couldn't pay him. They didn't have the funds. They weren't going to sacrifice paying the contractor versus the firefighter versus versus the people that support the city, police officers. So when the market crashed, there was no tax revenues coming in for the housing market. So they didn't have money to support their budgets. They were the first ones to stop paying contractors.
Wow.
And so going back to that, that's why I got to the federal level, because the federals where all the money comes. They just print money. So they literally, right? Do they not just print it? They just print it.
They have been printing quite a bit for quite some time.
So for me, the federal government, the process and the FAR, which is 90% of all agencies follow the FAR at the federal level, which is one set of rules. And so those particular agencies that follow the FAR guidelines, they are required to have the money in place before they award the contract. So you never have a problem with payment.
Got it.
Well, let me not say never, because it's government. So you will not have a problem with payment, slow pay, because of not having the funding. You may have a problem because you didn't send your documents, you didn't submit the paperwork. Maybe I've had an issue when the government was furloughed and they were out of office, but it had nothing to do with money. It's because of the furlough, because you get me, like something like that, like a natural disaster.
Yeah, so I guess my assumption was that was not necessarily correct, that it would be more of a slow pay situation. You're saying that's not the case. Now,
that's not at the federal level.
Yeah,
level.
I hear you loud and clear. Now, when you're getting your message out and you're trying to reach students, potential people that can learn from your courses, when you're marketing GovCon Giants, are you leveraging social media primarily? I mean, obviously, you're doing a lot of conferences, you do a lot of speaking, you do.
No, actually, I only primarily everyone's organic from YouTube.
That's what I was just going to say. So you basically have created your own feeder system.
Yeah, right. My YouTube and my podcast.
And what is your podcast called again on YouTube?
GovCon Giants.
GovCon Giants.
No, so if you GovCon Giants, GovCon Eric, my Eric Coffie, whatever you type in. If you type in Eric and you don't even have to finish it. YouTube's going to finish it for you.
Yeah, I know. I saw that.
I have 700 videos, 800 videos on YouTube.
That's great.
Government contracting. So, we've got 22,000 subscribers. We get 40 to 50,000 views a month organically without advertising.
Are you on Rumble yet? Have you tried working on Rumble yet?
I have not tried working on Rumble, no. But I know I've seen Michael Moore's on Rumble.
For David versus Goliath. Rumble has been the best friend. Yeah, because they want to help small businesses in America. So they have been featuring my podcast on their homepage every single week now for the last 5 weeks. And I went from 0 to now I'm a little over, almost at 5,000 subscribers and basically 1,000 a week. And been a great platform. You might want to consider, if you don't have an exclusive, taking some of your content and putting it on Rumble as well too, because there's an audience there for you, no doubt in my mind.
I didn't know that. Thank you. That's great.
Yeah, there's millions and millions of people that are on Rumble now that aren't on YouTube anymore. And it is a haven for them to be able to go to. They like it because it's an alternative. And so I have my YouTube channel, but since I put the videos on Rumble, my subscribership, my viewership, everything has been dramatic. And so anyway, just something for you to take a look at.
No, I do not have an exclusive with YouTube. In fact, I don't even like YouTube. Sorry, YouTube. Not sorry.
He didn't say that, YouTube.
No, I just, the problem is that when people come to my channel, and specifically, and it's mostly people who can't, because everyone can't afford my programs, and I understand that. So that's why I say, look, all the content is free. I've got 2 books for sale that I've written, 2 books.
Yeah, grab
them.
I want my listeners and watchers to see them. Do you have them right there? Grab them. And I have a book too, but it's not business related. Look at that. What's that? The $1 Billion Playbook.
Yep, and this one called the GovCon Launch.
GovCon Launch.
And this one, by the way, I mean, it takes you like all the steps, right, for launching your business in the government sector. I mean, it literally.
I was so blown away, Eric. I got to tell you, it's been like another whole section of my mind has opened over the last 2 weeks. You know, it's one of those things as an entrepreneur. Like, I've been very successful. Knock on wood, been very blessed, and I've worked in different verticals, and I've never even thought for a second to look over there. And when you look over there, you realize, wait a minute. There's so much opportunity over there.
So much.
So I'm digging into it.
So
I'm digging into myself. Well, we got to take another break, but when we come back, I want to talk to you about 2 things. Number 1, do you have any pet peeves? Number 2, do you collect anything? And then number 3, I want us to talk to people about courage, what it means to have courage to look in something unknown. So I'm Adam DeGraide. This is Eric Coffie. You're listening and watching the David versus Goliath podcast. You learned so much just by tuning in here, and you know it. I know it. It's exciting. Stay tuned. We'll be right back after this message.
At King 16, our agency has done some exciting things over the years. We've designed and built amazing experiences for customers and launched several vehicles for Audi and Porsche. We've thrown extravagant parties inside whiskey distilleries and featured amazing products for brands like Ray-Ban and Fossil. We booked some incredible talent and designed cutting-edge stages for those performances. We even threw a red carpet gala in the middle of nowhere on a horse farm with hundreds of celebrities, which was difficult. I guess you could say we've done some amazing things for our brands and partners. Now the only question is, what will King 16 do for you? Find out at king16.com. That's King, SIXTEEN.com.
And we're back for the final segment with Eric. Eric, this has been a ton of fun, and I'm enjoying it, and I'm looking forward to picking your brain some more after this too, because I'm trying to find that space for us as well, because I know there is space there, and really supporting others like yourself, but in a different way, right? You're educating people on how to position their businesses in that way. We want to help people look good, sound good, feel good, and automate things from a technological and marketing perspective. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Now, do you have any pet peeves at all?
Yes.
We'd like to hear
people who complain.
Complain about what? Anything?
Anything. I don't like people complaining, man. I don't like to hear it. I have something that I say all the time to people.
Oh, you must have been really frustrated the last 2 years because everyone complained about everything.
It's interesting. I don't, because one of the things, Adam, and I'm sure you'll experience this, right? They say as you become more successful, your circle gets smaller and your friends, right? You have different kind of friends and things like that. So I really don't surround myself with those kind of people. And because they pull me down, and that energy for me is, I tell anyone, and I can even give you a story that just happened to me when I was on a trip. I just came back from vacation this past week. But it's just that I say, look, don't take me on the roller coaster with you. I said, I don't want to go on that roller coaster of, would you believe what happened to me today, Adam? This car almost sideswiped me, and so I had to swerve out the thing. I came back in, and man, I could have died today. And I said, but nothing happened to you. Like I don't like what is it? Like nothing. How about?
But you don't understand, man. It could have happened,
man. Whoa, man. If I hadn't, and I just say, look, please, I don't want to go on a roller coaster with you.
It's funny. It's funny you say that because every one of us we have our own roller coaster we're on, right? It's like the last thing we do.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Are you kidding me? I mean, like
It's so true.
every day is a could have almost, this could have almost happened to any one of us, right? You could have like, wow, lightning struck the building next to me. It could have struck I don't know. I'm a half full guy. So for me, that's a big pet peeve of mine. Just people.
Me too. It's funny because a negative attitude has never yielded a positive result. And that is so true, by the way, because bad attitudes are contagious. Good attitudes are contagious. And the reason why people listen to your training, because I saw your face every time I watch your videos, and the reason why they tune in here is because they need an injection of positive in their life. There's a ton of negative. We want to be the fuel that's giving people wisdom, ideas, information. I call it three things: education, inspiration, and activation. And the last thing I need to hear about is, the bad dinner you were served last night. Just like, hey, let's just be thankful we had dinner last night, right? Let's just be thankful we had dinner last night. And it's so true. Now, are you a collector of anything? Do you collect anything personally, or do you have any hobbies or anything like that? Like I'm a golfer. I collect guitars. I collect guitars. I collect.
Do you really?
Oh yeah, dude. I don't know if you can see behind me.
No, it's a little fuzzy. Like I don't collect anything. I'm trying to think. Maybe I collect books. I have a lot of books in my house. maybe I collect books because I haven't read. I've read most of them, but I do enjoy books. In terms of hobbies, I exercise, so I live here in Palm Beach, so I walk to the ocean, 2 or 3 times a week, and that's good for me for clearing my brain.
Are you in Florida?
I'm in Florida, yeah, man. I'm in Palm Beach.
Well, I didn't pay attention to your actual location.
Oh, I said, I'm sorry, man. I thought you were stalking me. You're not stalking me, Adam. Come on, brother.
I showed up, the camera went on, and we went for it.
Yeah, but no, honestly, lately I've been getting a lot into crypto. So just similarly, where you're making another channel discussing the falling companies. I'm actually launching another YouTube channel. Well, I've already launched it on crypto, Web3, and NFTs. So I think it's because what I see and what I've learned is that the blockchain solves a lot of issues that we have in government, right? And the people that are programming and writing to the blockchain are people who understand ransomware, hacking, right? They know those vulnerabilities. They don't know about working for the government. Mm-hmm. So if I could branch those two worlds together, I think that I could take like some of the best people and bring them into the government space, because the government's not really good at doing that.
No, it's not. It's funny. My last business, Eric, I built an EMR, so an electronic medical record system for elective practices. And I always thought to myself, if you really want to keep people's patient data safe, why not build it on the blockchain or something similar to it, right?
Right.
That's the concept. Because I sometimes wonder if they really do want our medical information private.
No,
it doesn't look like they want it private anymore. Just look like they want it private anymore.
So, but that's something lately that's probably been the biggest thing that I've spent my time on. It's just really understanding that, and then going through that experience publicly with with my audience, because after being on YouTube for 4 years, I realized that you don't have to know all the answers.
No.
And a lot of people want a space where we can talk about these things openly and not feel judged. And I've learned the value of building communities. And I really do believe that, imagine, Adam, in that 8-8 conference, right, where, 40% of people knew me. Imagine going to a crypto conference, right, where, 20% of people knew you. And then also having that government contracting expertise behind me.
Oh, yeah, it's awesome. You should totally do that.
I think that I could really help blend the worlds and do some good with it, because they don't care about government. Thinks, from what I've seen, watching Congress, they look at crypto and all this stuff as like scams and negative and bad. It's their impression.
They just don't understand it. They don't.
Right. And so for me, that's right. So that's what I want to do.
Help them understand.
That's what I help bring in.
Now, courage. I don't know if you've ever watched any David versus Goliath podcast, but I'd love to talk about it. David, the shepherd boy, had 5 smooth stones. Did you know that? He had 5 smooth stones before he went out to face Goliath. And then Saul offered him his armor. And David said, I don't need your armor, man. I've got I've got the big guy on my team. I've got my 5 smooth stones, and he walks out there to face that giant. But it only took one smooth stone to slay Goliath, which I thought was a fascinating part of the story. And so I teach people all the time that there's 5 things in business. You've got plans and goals, the right people, the right tools, the process, and then courage that it takes to do that. And I believe courage was the stone that David used, Eric, to slay that giant and kill his own Goliath. Now, starting GovCon Giants, I know you said it was kind of out of necessity, but it still took courage, right?
Absolutely.
And every day that you get up and you decide to now talking about blending crypto and this together, that's going to take courage. So there's a lot of men and women that are watching this podcast right now that are in that state right before you and I were, right at that pinnacle point where they're like not totally satisfied with what they're doing and they know that they're called for something bigger and better. What was it in you that said, I'm going to go for this? Was it sheer necessity or was there something else in there? And then second question to that, Eric, what advice would you give to them to help them overcome their fears, their uncertainties, and their doubts?
So for me, it was not actually necessity. When I launched my YouTube channel and I started GovCon Giants, I actually was very well off. I'd overcame a tremendous amount of obstacles and challenges. And really, I was at my financial peak. I was really doing really well. I had a successful business. I had just, finished closing like $7 million in contracts. And so, I had a great year. My options were, go to China for 6 months or live abroad for 6 months, right? Or do something that I thought was bigger than myself and give back and help people and create the YouTube channel. So I actually created it as a way of giving back to folks because I knew the challenges that I faced and I understood them and I knew what people coming behind me would have to go through. And believe it or not, a lot of the organizations that are meant to support small businesses, they can't necessarily publicly teach because they're not incentivized to do so. They're incentivized to get people to come into their offices so they can get credit for each individual person. So unfortunately, the government structure does not, foster doing what I do, right? It doesn't encourage it, doesn't support it. And that's why they haven't done it at this point. So for me, it was more of I would say necessity, not for me, but a necessity for small businesses that are coming behind me.
And the second part of that question was, you were successful. You had the courage. By the way, I don't even care how successful people are. I've done this 3 times very successfully. Every time I open a new business, put that shingle up and cover those people's payroll that are with me, that takes courage.
No. Let me tell you something about courage. Are you kidding me? Now, where, like you said, I had to take, I put my money on the line for this, right? And then whatever, I can tell you some stories of courage, but for me, we actually have a wristband that says master fear, conquer life. And that's a saying that my friend has kept with us for a long time. If you can master fear, you can conquer life, because at that point, right, then there's nothing that you won't say, or there's nothing stopping you, right, from taking that next step. For me, what I tell my students all the time is, take the first step, go to the stop sign. That's something that I use quite often, is because you can't necessarily defeat fear. It's right. So you have to act in spite of fear. So I just tell them, go to the stop sign, go as far as you can see, take that first step, right, and then from there you'll be able to see what to do next. And when I was picking myself up out of some really dark times, that's what I did. I took the first step. And I think a lot of people listening to this, Adam, to be honest with you, if they're sitting at a job and they're like, well, I want to quit my job, or, I want to start this business, well, take the first step, right? Just open the LLC, sign up for a course, read a book. Because the way that you're going to defeat fear and gain more courage is by learning, right? And so the more I feel that the reason why they lack in courage is because there's some areas where they don't fully understand what they're getting into. And so the more that you can fully understand it, whether it's through experiences like being on the podcast and listening to people like myself and yourself, or getting involved and going to an event, because you could have gone to that 8-day conference without having a business.
Sure.
Right. You could have gone to the conference without you could be an employee and go to the conference and then talk to people at that event, right, and see what their experience has been like. You might find someone that wants to be a mentor to you. So I think that for me, for the courage comes where people have to act, and they have to actually at least go to the stop sign. And then at that point, in doing that, they're going to see how much comes to them, how much the world conspires to help them. And it's hard to believe it until you've done it.
Yeah,
and that's
so
the best
true.
thing
I tell people this all the time. People want to help you. There are so many people in your sphere right now that are successful, more successful than you. And if you ask for help, they absolutely want to help you. Go to the stop sign. Don't let fear stop you. Let fear feed you. Right. And I love that advice from Eric Coffie from GOVCON Giants. Now, Eric, have you enjoyed being on DVG?
Oh man, it's been great. I love your energy. It's like you said, your hair off the stop the rip. I feel overdressed.
Well, listen, we both have great haircuts. There's no doubt about it.
Yes.
I tell people.
No, but I can't do what you do, man. I can't do that.
Eric, you know what's so funny? I tell people.
You can do this. I can't do that.
That's a good point. I tell people all the time, I'm losing my hair. Like it used to be down here, and it just keeps going back. So for like 15 years now, Eric, I just keep spiking it up. Because if I'm going to lose it, I'm going out with a bang of glory. And everyone, right. Eric Coffie, Adam DeGraide, you've been watching and listening to David versus Goliath podcast, the greatest small business podcast in the world. And I say so myself. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next week. Have an awesome day.